Hello. Well, let's start out this way, people. Welcome. I have missed the hell out of y'all. I have truly been busy. It's been great. Things have been very busy and fun in my life. Um, but, it takes me away from you guys, and that makes me sad. So I actually rearranged, my afternoon um, so that I could be here with you guys, right? So um, I went ahead and put thumbs up first because, hey, we forget things as an afterthought, right? And if you are a regular in my channel, remember, there you are. I am romancing the algorithm. So it would help if you would just do a thumbs up. Pretty simple. I did notice too that, man, I've got like 7% of people that are getting notifications. That is so weird to me. So if you're not getting notifications and you want them, could you like maybe unsubscribe and then subscribe again and hit the all notifications bell? Then you may notice that you're getting notifications again. What do you think about that cute little piece of art? I've been damn busy, y'all, in the middle of the night as I struggle with my insomnia. One thing about me, I don't really require a lot of sleep anyway. I'm what is called a micro sleeper. My dad, was the same. And so I don't require much sleep anyway. And if I have a day where I've worked a lot of hours, then it's been an incredibly busy day, then it's just physically I'm uncomfortable. I have rheumatoid arthritis, and so physically I'm uncomfortable. And it just, for me to sleep, it just all conditions need to be prime. So I'm sort of having one of my little things right now where I am just napping when I can, and that's okay because I do feel good. But anyway, the problem is that everybody else, the whole world sleeps except me and a few bad actors that are on YouTube. And so in the early wee morning hours, you can see and hear some fairly bizarre things. And that happened to me last night. I ran across a little fella that I had run across before in the past. But it was sort of one of those situations of, you just disregard, right? You don't, like I've talked about many, many times, you engage in the things that bring you joy and they improve your health or they bring you one step closer to your goals. And then you avoid the things that, you don't like so much, right? I mean,
we will do mean things and we will do them in style.
It's kind of how people are. This is another favorite I have.
This is the loudest snow I've ever heard in my life.
Okay. So we engage. The goal is to engage in the topics or with the people, the activities, the things that improve your health, bring you joy, move you one step closer to your goals rather than one step, further away from your goals. And then the other people, all the other noise, you just leave them to their own devices. This is actually central and foundational to health and happiness. It is not even remotely possible or even probable that you would be able to control other people. Even those people that you are in your deepest, most intimate and committed relationships, you do not have the ability to control them. The best that you can hope for is that you guys work together as a team. And so you each are responsible for your own behavior, but you you take steps to change if somehow you think it benefits the relationship or the shared goals or whatever it happens to be. But the idea that somehow, I see you, Sager. I see you. My little dog just came in and she's soaking wet. I don't know why she's wet. But the idea that you and I have a wand or some mystical, magical potions that we can control other people, it's just not accurate. It's wrong. Now, I heard some disturbing things. Oh, just 1 minute. Okay, sorry about that. So last night, I had the misfortune of stumbling upon a live that had all of 28 people, live viewers, where I was really shocked and kind of taken back because they were attacking a very good person. Like I was just, I couldn't believe my ears. I really couldn't. So what warranted this attack, or what provoked this verbal name calling, in attempts at public shame and humiliation, calling a young woman a fraud, calling a young woman a criminal. What warranted this from a very old man? She has a different opinion than he does. That's about it in a nutshell. Now, I've seen this guy before. And again, I don't get into the people that I disagree with, the people I don't like, I simply avoid. I don't let them enter into my headspace. And I try to stay focused on being happy and doing my thing and letting other people do their thing and letting them be happy with what they need. I think the process of natural selection is alive and well on YouTube. And I do believe that the YouTube algorithm is set up on that idea of natural selection. I think the channels that have return viewers, that have engagement during lives, those are the channels that get exposed to more and more people. And if you have return viewers, people that stumbled on, watched you, clicked, and then returned for another live, that improves your place in the algorithm. And essentially, YouTube becomes survival of the fittest. And then those people that others don't enjoy, people click on the channel, watch, and then leave and go, you know what, this is really not for me. And then they don't return. Then those are actions that the YouTube computers pick up on that keep the channel suppressed and keep the channel low. Well, sadly, or in an expected fashion, perhaps, these people whose channels, let's see, how do I want to say it? So there are many channels where people are using the channels as a communication device, a central meeting ground. Hey, let's go to Starlight's house and chat and play games and have fun kind of thing. A lot of people are using the YouTube channels as our own personal little real estate where we can get together with our friends and we can have fun, or we can talk about things, or if somebody hurts our feelings, we can get angry and rage and make fun of other people that have been making fun of us or been mean to us. And then there are channels that are really, they're really created by people that have an expert level of knowledge about some topic or process. And so they create these videos that are instructional in nature. And then you have a group of people, a group of YouTube channels that are there to teach hobbies, or to highlight recreational processes, like the Unstoppable Morgan, which I adore. The Unstoppable Morgan. I wish I had her life. she's basically a nomad and just really has fun driving around in her old Bronco and, with her dogs, living life, seeing what the world has out there to offer her. And every now and then she gets overwhelmed by the demands of a very difficult lifestyle, and she rents her a hotel room for a couple of days and gets a good shower and a nice soft bed, and then she's ready to get back out there again. So I love Unstoppable Morgan. The point being is that there are the number of channels, the different types of channels, the purposes that people can use their channels for. There are a lot of professionals who use their YouTube channel as actually an avenue of advertising for their company or for their services. I know there's a lot of therapists and clinicians who will do like instructional videos, and then that's used to sort of direct them to how to access mental health services, or what symptoms might prompt you to see your physician, for further testing and whatnot. So it's just simply, well, it's an act of narcissistic need that is going unfulfilled for a person to begin to take the position that the people on YouTube, the various creators on YouTube, that they are not quality creators offering worthwhile or even moral content, and therefore they should be removed. They should not be allowed to have a platform on YouTube because the people don't have notable expertise or accomplishment that would make them an expert, which would give them the appropriate foundation for having a YouTube channel. Well, people could actually say exactly the same thing about you. And the problem is this: nobody cares if you have this opinion. Nobody cares what your goal is, as long as you're not harming other people, right? YouTube is a platform that is built around this idea that you don't have to be employed by Fox News or CNN or MSNBC to have an opinion. You don't have to go through credentialing and job interviews and have a little plastic card with your picture and your name. Trust us, some of us don't look so good on camera, while other of us look beautiful. You don't have to have a little card with your picture and your name that says, yes, I am special enough to have an opinion. Okay, this is dumb. And that's actually what you were saying. It's what you've been saying. And it doesn't come off as being the thoughts of a intelligent person who has actually spent time considering what the platform itself was designed to do. The platform of YouTube was designed to give people, all people, every person, anyone, all, not just you muckety mucks in your big ivory tower sitting in your throne with hungry, starving PhD students going, oh, please, sir, please tell me that I put my comma in the right place. And you can sit and wield your great authority with your big, gilded degree and say, no, your comma is in the wrong place. You are unworthy to enter the conversation. Um, no, YouTube wanted to provide a place that all people, every person, regardless of their age, their training, their level of aesthetic beauty, um, their opinion, they just wanted to give people a platform to create, to show off their art, to uh, meet together with people that have the same kinds of ideas that they may or may not have. They wanted to provide YouTube as a meeting place where people could just say, hey, this is what I do, this is what I think, these are things I enjoy, these are things that I wish would change, to create open dialogue and conversation together. Where in the world a sad little man would come up with the idea that in order to have a YouTube channel, you have to go through a job interview? You have to go through credentialing, like a state level legal licensing authority for people. The only reason that there's a licensing authority is if a person is working in a job where they are having direct contact with an individual, with another person. That high level of legal oversight licensing is to protect the public from, or protect the public when they enter into a professional relationship with someone who is providing an expert level of services. That's not what YouTube is, sir. Not in any shape, size, or form. YouTube is a social vehicle that is accessible to everyone, and not everyone gets monetized. It's not, they don't promise that they will monetize everyone, but people can have a platform for whatever it is that they want to put out there. I know people that do nothing more than take all of their family videos and photographs and put them on their YouTube channel as a storage vehicle. The everything is set to private. No one else can see it, and it's just a way to externally keep all your family videos and photographs safe. And if like I'm living in Egypt and the grandparents are living in Colorado, then I can take pictures and videos of things happening in Egypt, and then the grandparents in Colorado can get online and access them and see what's going on in life. So your self-important bullshit, where you're going to be the authority on identifying who is worthy to have a YouTube channel or not, or to have an opinion or not, is nothing more than you looking at YouTube as a potential source of narcissistic supply. I am not saying that you have a disorder called narcissistic personality disorder. I am saying you're exercising a drive for using YouTube as a notch in your belt, another degree on your wall, if you will, a coveted job. Oh, I got approved to have my YouTube channel. Hell, you can have 50 YouTube channels. YouTube doesn't care. So all of that being said, I felt like this was an important topic of conversation, because this same person who wants people to prove that they have an expert level of whatever the topic is that they're going to put up on YouTube, he wants there to be an interview process He wants there to be somehow some little badge. You know, we could all wear little badges, right? Like those cool pens that you get when you get the expensive knives. You know what I'm talking about? Yes, we could all wear our little pens. I want my pen to be rose gold. And of course, there's got to be diamonds and stuff because, you know, I'm jewels, right? He wants there to be he wants YouTube to be somehow seen as a verified that if you have a YouTube channel that you have been weighed and measured and found acceptable. Well, you know, and that led me then in my little kind of smart ass way that I do things because I'm just a human being and I don't buy into a lot of the oh, I'm so special because no, I'm so special because no. You know what makes me special? That I'm a person who really wants to help if I can. I'm a person who tries to make anyone I come in contact with any point in a day, I smile at them and I try to say something nice to them because I have no idea what kind of crap they may be dealing with in their life. I'm a person that, you know, if somebody comes up to me in a parking lot and says, hey, I got a problem with gas or clothes or whatever, can I get a little money? I'm going to give them $20. And I'm not, there's no judgment or fear of, oh, I bet they're lying. I bet they don't need that $20. I bet they're going to use that $20 for crack or, you know, whatever. I just I don't buy into all of the I'm so important. I just can't. I've seen it. I've lived in it. I've competed in it. I was measured and found absolutely desirable in my field of study. I just don't have it. I've seen so many really good people experience degradation and humiliation at the hands of somebody who thought they were awesome. Someone dealing with a narcissistic need and that, you know, the grandiosity, their delusions of greatness lead them to stand as lordship over people that are, you know, students or just trying to learn, or standing over people that don't have a high level of formal education, or using their lofty learned position to exploit young women for sexual, you know, favor. I've seen the worst in these muckety mucks. I've seen it. I've watched it. And in some cases, I picked up the pieces of what they did to these people. So I'm not impressed, you know. And I will tell you, I've met a lot of people that are absolutely impressive in their given field. And they are not the ones walking around with the God complex. The best of the best are not the ones who are shaming and humiliating the medical students or the freshman students, whatever. They don't shame them. They don't humiliate them. They don't call them out. The best of the best recognize that, you know, part of what made them as good as they are is that somewhere along the way they found a mentor that treated them with respect and then used scaffolding to build them up and move them through the ranks until they themselves developed, you know, a level of expertise and professionalism. I absolutely had probably the most spectacular dissertation chair and committee. I mean, God smiled on me that day with that particular group of professionals. So people that really strive to become expert and to develop a certain level of proficiency to provide a service in the world, not to stand like a god and say, worship me because I have achieved or attained something that few people do. No, the people that really work hard to achieve excellence, they are the people that recognize, I have finished now, I have gotten through it, and now it's my turn to provide the support and the help and the shoulder to cry on to the new group of young professionals coming up. Those people that walk around and all they want to do is tell you about how smart they are and how they've achieved this degree or that degree. And they use these big $10, $20 words, and they correct you in some simple comment that you make. Those people, well, they're not your true professionals. They're people that, looked at a higher education and thought, hey, this is one external way that I can, get a little bit of credibility, that I don't actually have to be credible. Now, I know right now some of you are looking at each other and you're going, okay, what's going on here? Well, I can tell you what's going on. I experienced in approximately, I want to say 3 minutes, but just to be careful, I'm going to say 4 to 5 minutes. In a 4 to 5 minute span of time, I asked one question in a really respectful way. I mean, if I was at a university and asking a question of some published author, and they had a microphone in front of me in an auditorium with 300 people, I stated my question exactly like I would have had I had 300 other academics looking at me and watching me when I stated my question. I stated it clearly, with respect, simple words, and then waited. And in the following 3 to 4 minutes, maybe 5 minutes after asking this question, I watched with, first of all, gaping mouth in shock. And then I ended up laughing because it was so odd. I don't even know how else to say it. But laughing because in that short 3 to 5 minute period of time following this question, I was gaslighted. Multiple tactics of gaslighting were directed at my statement. I was called names. I was told what I think and what I feel. An agenda was identified and basically placed on my shoulders as a label. I was told for whom I work, aka, oh, she's a Ryan Upchurch sycophant. Yeah, you know what? Learn a new word. I don't know how many times the word sycophant has come out of your mouth, but as a learned human being, there's a whole lot of words in the English language. But I know it's a cool word, right? It sounds cool. So there were the reaction for this very direct and simple question that wasn't rude, it wasn't snarky, it wasn't, it was asking for clarification, right? It was actually shocking. I even experienced the most rudimentary form of splitting and devaluing. I mean, it's something I would expect to see like in like second, third grade elementary school. It went a little something like this. Oh, hi, Kibby. Oh, Kibby, I just took you off the block list. I'm so sorry. don't know what happened. Maybe it was my mistake. I'm so sorry. I really like you, Kibby. Whatever happened, water under the bridge. I don't remember who you are, but I like you. But I don't like Jot. I don't like Jules of Thought, but I like you. Yeah, it's ironic. It's ironic that I'm here with this problem with Jules of Thought, and then now you come in, but this doesn't have anything to do with you, Kibby. I like you. Now this is from a gray bearded balding old man. So I don't, it was a really strange 5 minutes. And I was like, wow, okay, this is crazy. So I was also told that I have been deemed by God to be a bad actor. That's right. I am a bad actor. So I'm really glad that, God cleared that up and let me know as he sat in his channel with 28 live viewers. He also screeched and yelled about one of my friends who is a really good person. She is, she cares about other people. She has demonstrated the care that she has for other people. She's very careful about voicing, telling people what others are thinking or why they did something or what they were feeling. She didn't do that. She just puts information out. She plays a video, puts up a picture, whatever. And then she says, what do you guys think? What do y'all think about this? Tell me your opinion. In other words, she's being a really great talk show host. That's what she's doing. And her channel, because people recognize that she's kind, honest, that she's hosting what amounts to a talk show on YouTube, that she allows people, all people, different, many types of people to come up on the platform to voice their opinions. And there can be a lot of different opinions. Like there'll be 3, 4, 5 people up on panel, and they'll all have a bit of a different opinion, and they kind of get in these conversations, and it is worthwhile. It's worthwhile content. It is not her role to sit in her channel and be the queen of the channel and then demand that all believe as she believes. In fact, it's kind of been my experience that she doesn't often state her opinion. She doesn't often state what she believes. If you watch her carefully, and I hope all of you will, it's Ab Girl who I'm talking about. Watch her carefully, listen, and you'll notice that she's prompting a conversation with others. She's trying to get them to talk and give their position. And this horrible little man, my opinion, it's only my opinion as a human being, it's my opinion after watching countless numbers of females that he has maligned and made attempts to shame and embarrass. He's got an agenda. Now, he claimed that my agenda, I mean, it's hard to make sense of all that he was saying, but I think he was upset that Ryan Upchurch came up on my panel. I think that was the whole goal. I also think that is why he has said the most obnoxious, hurtful, disgusting comments about a young woman who is at the very top of my list for people that I admire on YouTube. So he had, I mean, it's a really bad look for any man to go after any female. In fact, that was kind of one of the bad, really awful things that Ryan Upchurch did is, when he got angry at Xana May, he used some misogynistic language in his anger and really, went after her. But everybody ignored the fact that she really baited him and manipulated, and there were a lot of people in the mix that were engaging in very bad behavior. It was a highly emotional mixture, and it erupted in a terrible way. Now, this thing going on with this little man and my friend, none of that was in action. She never addresses him under any circumstances. She's made no negative comments toward him or about him at all. And he has ordained himself as God, although he's admitted he's an atheist, but he is acting in the role of God. I mean, if you're an atheist, aren't you kind of basically going to create, an empty throne? Someone's got to sit there, don't they? So he's the new God, or what he likes to call himself is champion. He is the new champion for the people of YouTube. I'm not kidding. I'm not making a joke when I say that. That is the exact words from his mouth. He's the new champion for the people of YouTube. And he is using his throne as champion to use shame and embarrassment. He is intentionally humiliating people publicly that he has decided should not have a platform on YouTube. Now, he's doing this for the greater good. It's very important that you guys recognize this, okay? He's being emotionally abusive. He is with actual malice, with a plan, with the intention of creating shame and humiliation. He is targeting creators that he has decided don't deserve a place on YouTube. I don't know there. That sounds suspiciously like a crime. So you may want to clean up your act just a teeny tiny bit. But when you begin to go after really good people that are putting together entertaining shows, facilitating interesting conversations, and your reaction is to get your narcissistic supply by being the new savior, then you say that your tool for influencing others to change their mind is that you're going to use abuse. Well, you've created a crime. You've crossed the line. You have fulfilled all the necessary requirements in the books, in most of the laws in this country. So, we've gotten into this weird, murky, odd place, where you're a bit like brackish water. You know what I mean? You got your fresh water, where you believe in your heart that you're being a good actor and that you're wanting to help people and you want to clean up the streets of YouTube and make YouTube a user-friendly place and only have creators that are making content that are expert in their field, or they have somehow been, ordained ministers or some crap about morality and principles. There's your fresh water. That's your goals and what you're desiring. But then you're bringing in a lot of dirty, salty ocean water. And that would be all your bullshit about how people, the best way to change people's minds is to abuse them, quote unquote. The best way to change people's minds is to inflict humiliation and shame. And I actually was the recipient of that particular idea last night. So you're that murky, gross, okay, so it's that dark, murky water in between the sea, the dirt, the salty ocean water, and the fresh water. And when it comes together, it creates an area where, very little usable life can even grow. It's nasty. It's filthy. It's dirty. It's dirty to say that you're the good guy and that you're there to clean up the streets of YouTube and make it a place that's safe for people to be. And then the way that you're going to make it safe for people to be is to be abusive. You are being the bad actor. And you're doing it with much glee. We've seen this thing before that we call communal narcissism. It's not really something that, there's a lot of conversation about narcissism, narcissistic personality disorder. What is a narcissist? Blah, blah, blah. Dr. Ramani is a great channel with lots of great and good information on narcissism. Todd Grande, Dr. Grande does, he's got several, I don't remember how many. He's got several videos on communal narcissism, what it is, how do you recognize it, why is it dangerous, to an organization, things like that. But basically, what communal narcissism is it's not a formal diagnosis. It's not something that you would put in a report or anything, but it is a theoretical explanation for people that have grandiose, inflated perceptions of themselves. They believe they have really excellent social skills. They might even think that they have a high degree of likability, but in reality, they're getting their narcissistic supply from coming in and saying, I am worthwhile and worthy because I am going to do this helpful thing. I'm going to do this great thing. And then people will love me and people will revere me and people will look up to me. And, I'll be able to be special by doing whatever this thing happens to be. People that are that demonstrate this array of behaviors and beliefs that are called communal narcissism, they over exaggerate their knowledge base. They over exaggerate their aptitude and professional knowledge. They build themselves up, blow themselves up to be of expert level when really the action, the actual work does not reflect that at all. And so they then use this belief system that they're really awesome and great and wonderful, and they're going to use themselves as a tool for good. They're going to sacrifice all the things that they need or want or love or desire, and they're going to work and do it for the greater good. And this would look like, I guess, the stereotypical or the most often used example would be somebody that would make like a big donation to a charity and then, present to get their plaque for being the top, donator or whatever. They sometimes they'll make a notable affiliation to a specific charity or they'll want to be associated with a big cause like women's rights, that kind of thing, or finding the bombs left over in previous theaters of war. Very often they have conversations not about what their daily aspirations or dreams or just whatever, what you gonna do today. But when they talk, it's more like, I'm on a mission. I won't be stopped. I am entitled to end homelessness in this country. I have made it my personal mission to end hunger, right? Instead of just going down to the local homeless shelter and, washing some blankets. It's got to be this big flowery presentation that's going to get what? Going to get them noticed and get their supply. So if you end up working with someone who's sort of got this orientation, it's just a source of never-ending conflict and drama. Like this whole new approach to finding YouTube creators that say things that you don't think they should say, and then you knowingly and with a pre-planned goal, you try to inflict embarrassment and shame. And it's all done for the greater good, right? These people will mock and degrade others. If they let's use this this example of like being a vegan, right? Well, most of the people I know, which are really just good old down home people, just regular people, they don't care if you walk in and say, well, I'm a vegan. I'm not going to eat boiled shrimp, or I'm not going to eat steak or whatever. Then everybody sitting around the table is going to go, oh, okay, well, is there enough here? Can I cook something else for you? I know I've got some fresh broccoli and asparagus. Let me go make some of that up. It'll take me just a minute. I'm happy to do it. That's real life. That's what actually happens. And no one cares if you're vegan or not, right? But if you're operating from the position that is characteristic or parallel to a communal narcissist, what they will do in that situation is they'll say, well, I am a vegan. I cannot eat the brisket that you have been preparing for the last 7 hours. And then, I would jump up and say, well, let me cook some asparagus or whatever. And then they would say, but you don't understand. I am a vegan. And the reason that I choose to be a vegan is because I know the truth. And here's what I know about animals that are being subjugated to be food for other animals. And I am not going to be a part of that. And I am not going to accept sitting at a table with other people who are eating brisket. Would you eat your own child? Would you murder your own child? If you eat things that are grown from the ground, then no life has to be killed. No life will be snuffed out for your culinary pleasure. Okay, that's the communal narcissist. Someone who has over-identified with being vegan, and they're now using it like a badge of honor and virtue. And not only are they doing this for their own personal preference, but they're using it as a power, as sword, to strike you down, to gain dominion over you, to tell you that you're wrong, to appear to be the most brilliant and intelligent and loving, virtuous person in the room. Okay? I'm not making this up. There's plenty of information out there about communal narcissism and what is it and why is it bad? Like, how does it hurt people? And I'm telling you how it hurts people. It is that judgment of, I know best. You others are peons with no intellectual thought in your mind. And it is just best for you to sit down quietly while me and my other little narcissistic friends make all the rules for YouTube, and then you all need to just follow what we say. You're not allowed to have a difference of opinion. You're not allowed to think about things that I find uncomfortable, like eating a brisket instead of asparagus. Now, what exactly was the societal problem that prompted the attempts at shame and embarrassment against me last night? Kylie Rodney, the discomfort that many people have, that the things that we've seen seem very strange. And that would include one of the sheriff's deputies from Alameda, whose dive team was at Prosser. And when Tyler showed him the picture of the divers right slap dab over the location of Kylie's car, and there was a marker in the water right above her car, his exact words were, "Oh, well, that doesn't look good, does it?" That's a direct quote. Go to Tyler's channel and listen. Now, Tyler, in what was really uncharacteristic fashion for him, that prompted him to call this sheriff, or it was the deputy, to call and have a conversation and try to get some information about what is in this picture and what could it possibly mean. Now, I left. I haven't been back, so I don't know if the phone call happened, if there was ever any additional information. But the exact words from the deputy after looking at the picture, and he identified, he said, "Yeah, that's our boat. Yeah, that's our dive team. That's the location. Yeah." And then he said, and I quote, "Well, that doesn't look good at all." Okay, so that's a law enforcement guy, right? So we're not just talking about a bunch of lowly YouTubers that have sorry, I got distracted. Let me think. What was I saying? Uh, um, that was not a lowly YouTuber who didn't have credentials and didn't have a job interview with YouTube and didn't have a priest, give you, seal of approval on your morality and your principled behavior. That, we YouTubers, how dare we have an opinion. This was actually a sheriff's deputy from the next door county that sent divers in, and they actually did go to Prosser. So what do you say to that, God? As you sit there on your throne and you point at people and you decide they are worthy or unworthy, what's your reaction to the whole sheriff's deputy from Alameda who watched this and went, I think I'm going to make a few phone calls? Another thing he said, "Let me see what's going on." Everybody knows it. Everybody sees it. It doesn't take a genius of your level to recognize that there's some really uncomfortable things that are going on. Very strange things. For example, if I'm the mother and my baby is gone and I have no idea where she is, and I am staying awake night after night, weeping and crying, nauseated, sick, as I go through in my mind, where's my child? What's happening? And then this group of people come in, they don't charge $1. It doesn't cost anything at all. these people come in with a notable skill set, and they find my baby after the police have told them, you don't have to search here. And so they didn't. Because they were told don't search here, this place has been well searched. She's not here. You can look other places. And they did go and they looked at a couple other places. And when they came up empty-handed, you know what they said? They said, hey, let's just not go by what we're told. Let's go by what we know. And what we know is that you go back to the last verified location. And that is where we start our search. And we didn't do it in this one because we were directed away from the last verified location. We were reassured time and time again that this place had been searched and over-searched, and that our time was better spent looking in other places. But let's go ahead and fulfill the respect to what we know is best practices standards. And so they did. 32 minutes later, that mother knew where her child was. And then the strangest reaction, she blamed AWP. She got angry with AWP. She didn't thank this organization for ending what could have been decades of grief and fear, not knowing where your child was. I'm not casting judgment on her reaction. In fact, I stood up and said, there's no way to tell people or identify a proper grief reaction. Everybody's is different, but because of the different experiences that we've had and the meaning to certain things, everybody's different. And in fact, anger is a huge component of grief. It's a great people that are in grief, bereavement, they spend a great deal of time in anger. In fact, many people will tell you that they prefer the anger over the plane of lethal flatness that comes with the whole depression and whatnot. So anger is a reality that for people that are in bereavement and grief, traumatized, anger is real. It's a part of it, and that's okay. But what struck me to be illogical for me, notice I said for me, they gave her the answers. They gave her the answer to set a foundation for her heart being at peace. They provided the opportunity that her child would be given back to her and buried. It's very odd that the very people that seem to be working overtime to drive people away from searching at Prosser, they were built up as instrumental in bringing their child home. And the people that actually did it were targeted as, somehow being, there was apparently some anger that they didn't call the mother directly, but they were not given the mother's phone number. So, and this grand learned man who went after my friend and said the most horrendous, awful things about a very good human being, a very kind and responsible person who facilitates conversations among people that have different opinions. He also has decided that AWP are bad actors. So not only did he judge me and say that I am a bad actor, according to his little model that he built, I am a bad actor, but AWP is also a bad actor. So you know what I got to say? Hot damn. That's all I got to say. I'm in good company, period. I am in good company. I also have zero interest in being better than other people and casting judgment on others. It is not my role, it's not my position, it's not my desire to stand around and point my finger and say, you are worthy and you are not worthy. You are worthy and you are not worthy. You, and you, out, be gone. You're not worthy. Go away. Oh, you, okay, you can come in. You get to have a YouTube channel. You can't have a YouTube channel. You have different opinions than I do. So scoot along, go, go, go. You are dismissed. Amber Heard, $7 million judgment from Johnny Depp, who came out on a television show and shaking her head with great authority. I donated all $7 million to charity, to Children's Hospital and the ACLU. I donated it. I wanted nothing from Johnny Depp. And of course, the people on the panel were just like, oh my God, wow, you're such a good person. Wow, cool beans, man. You're amazing. You got that 7 million, you and your sister dancing and celebrating in the car, but you didn't want nothing, did you? Nope. You donated the whole kit and caboodle to the Children's Hospital and the ACLU.
Yes, that's correct.
He didn't sue you until after the op-ed came out in December of 2018, right?
He sued me in 2019.
And the op-ed came out in December of 2018.
That is correct.
So in October of 2018, you had received your entire $7 million divorce settlement. You would agree with me?
That is correct.
And you hadn't yet been sued by Mr. Depp.
This is October, correct.
So in this October 2018 interview, you said that you had, quote, donated, end quote, your entire divorce settlement to charity, right?
That's correct.
And in fact, your exact words were, quote, 7 million in total was donated to, I split it between the ACLU and the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, end quote, right?
That's correct. I made that statement as soon as I got a divorce and we reached the settlement. That's when I pledged it, right then.
And you say this because you, quote, wanted nothing, end quote.
That is correct.
But you hadn't donated your entire $7 million settlement to charity at that point, had you?
That's incorrect.
Sitting here today, Ms. Heard, you still haven't donated the $7 million divorce settlement to charity. Isn't that right?
Incorrect. I pledged the entirety of the settlement, $7 million to charity, and I intend to fulfill those obligations.
I intend to do it years later.
Please
What was
try
your
to answer
question?
my question. Sitting here today, you have not donated the $7 million donated, not pledged, donated the $7 million divorce settlement to charity.
I use pledge and donation synonymous with one another. They're
But I
the same
don't.
thing.
Oh, well, and then the problem is that Amber talked down to people as if they were stupid when they said, Amber, the word pledge and donate, they're not the same. They're not synonymous. What are you talking about? And in good communal narcissistic fashion, she manipulates others into saying, I pledged it. It's the same as donating it. And I'm sorry that you're so stupid that you don't recognize that. I'm a better person than you because I gave all 7 million to charity and you're too stupid to know that. And meanwhile, back at the ranch, you're standing there going, but wait a minute, you didn't donate it. You just said you did, but the action, you didn't at all. And in fact, Johnny Depp, who is a regular monthly contributor to the children's hospitals in LA, and he covered the portion that was supposed to go to the ACLU, the money that Amber Heard did not pay, that she said she pledged, never paid, Johnny Depp actually paid that money to the ACLU, to the Children's Fund, and to the art school quietly behind the scenes. And the friend said, because he felt responsible knowing that these people had a budget that they had counted on their portion of $7 million. And when she reneged on the whole thing, he felt like it was his role to try to make it right. So she is using this claim of, I gave my settlement to charity. Me, I am a good person. I mean something. I'm virtuous. Don't you see how special I am, that I care for others, and I would give the whole $7 million to charity. She did it on live on a TV show, and she was puffed up like a big old toad. And everybody on the panel, there was like, oh, you're such a good person, Amber. You're so amazing and awesome. And meanwhile, behind the scenes, the reality of day-to-day life, man, she was spending the hell out of that money on $350 bottles of wine, designer clothes. She's POS, in my opinion. That is the communal narcissist. They claim they're doing something great and big. They make it look like on the surface that they're virtuous and they have principles and they have morality. But where the leather hits the road, they completely lack substance. Their day-to-day life is absolutely not virtuous, nor principled, nor decent. You claim that you want YouTube safe for people, but you are the terrorist who is going around arbitrarily choosing creators that you don't like because they let Ryan Upchurch on their panel, and then you intentionally and with purpose, you try to use shame and humiliation to control them.
Ms. Heard, I don't use it synonymously.
That's how donations are paid.
Ms. Heard,
Shut up.
respectfully, that's not my question. As of today, you have not paid $3.5 million of your own money to the ACLU. Yes or no?
I have not yet.
And as of today, you have not paid $3.5 million of your own money to the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, correct?
I have not yet. Johnny sued me.
So as of today,
Wait a minute. Okay. I have not, because Johnny sued me. He sued me, and I have to use my money to pay Johnny, the lawyers, because he sued me. It is his fault. Okay. It's gaslighting. You're being manipulated by this woman. The reality is she had every dime that Johnny Depp was supposed to pay to her, and then some, but she had every dime by October 2018. He did not sue her until well into 2019. She did not make not one payment to the Children's Hospital or the ACLU, not a penny. She also did not earmark a friend's charity that does art for inner city kids. She did not provide even $10,000 to this charity. And the reason that she actually said she wanted to give the money to larger organizations that have a wider PR reach. AKA, people would know that she gave the money to ACLU and the children's hospitals, but nobody would ever know if she gave money to this small, obscure charity. She made her choice for charitable donation based on which was going to get her the most good publicity. That is a communal narcissist.
Paid $7 million of your divorce settlement to charity, right?
I have not been able to fulfill those obligations yet.
And that's because you did want something, didn't you?
I didn't want any.
You wanted Mr. Depp's money.
The chef's chicken sandwiches at Panera, freshly prepared with clean ingredients.
We have to wait.
An explosion of the senses.
Video will
So
play
finally
after
taste
the
it, it
ads.
just confirms.
But that
This
hamburger's
is
making me
fantastic. And
hungry.
only at Panera.
Ooh,
$0
that looks
delivery fee for
yummy.
a limited time.
Doesn't that look
Christopher
yummy?
has always loved creating things. We
Oh,
learned
that was
about
cool,
the Verizon
Christopher.
Innovative Learning Program.
Oh, I love
I saw a
drones.
difference in his confidence. He could just be himself.
You go, Christopher. You're amazing. Keep
Didn't
up the
get
good
it,
work.
Wasn't interested in it. I loved Johnny. That's why I was with him.
You
Hmm.
wanted praise for donating the money, right?
Yep,
That's incorrect.
that is correct.
You wanted good press.
Yep.
In general, one does want good press, yes.
You want
Now, she couldn't help herself. This is one of the funniest times in this whole entire fiasco, is she couldn't separate her own identity from that question. It was like, well, yeah, of course I always want good press. Doesn't everybody? No, Amber. No. People don't care about press or promoting themselves for the most part. Now, if your business is dependent upon having, recognition and a big global footprint, then sure, I can buy into the whole press thing. But what is your press for? You're not working. Nobody wants to work with you. You've been revealed to be dangerously manipulative. She says, well, everybody wants good press. Isn't it interesting that her actions toward Johnny Depp were not to physically harm him, but to destroy his reputation, to bring bad press upon Johnny Depp? For Amber, who appears to really, really value good press, superficial mask, that is what is most valuable to her. So she assumed that would be the most valuable thing to Johnny Depp, that if she could shame him and humiliate him, hurt his public reputation, then he would really, really suffer, because that's what would make her suffer the most. But we've got good research, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes. We got good research. It shows, that whole tactic of using shame and humiliation, it only works if somebody cares about what you're saying. Most people don't care if you're petty and mean.
wanted to seem altruistic publicly.
Wasn't my interest. My interest is in my name and clearing my name. And at the time, I was being called a liar and my motives were being questioned. I did see it as important to clear that up. I wanted to make a statement to make sure that there was
what is she babbling about?
Labeled these things just because Johnny was a bigger star, and
it has nothing, has everything to do with your behavior.
Claims of domestic violence against Mr. Depp, right?
No, I wanted to move on with my life.
You wanted to make those claims seem believable.
They are believable. They were.
You wanted them to be seen. You wanted to be seen, as a noble victim of domestic violence.
I have never.
Yep.
Never.
That's exactly what she was trying to do.
Nor have I ever called myself one.
Doesn't matter. It's how you acted.
You testified under oath that, quote, the entirety of your divorce settlement was donated to charity, end quote, didn't you?
That's correct. I pledged the entirety.
No. Ms. Heard, my questions. Your counsel will have time to redirect you after. You testified under oath, quote, the entirety of your divorce settlement was donated to charity, end quote.
That is correct. I pledged the entirety.
Move to strike everything after yes.
Lord, this woman.
All right.
Okay. So, behavior, comments, actions, history highly suggestive of what you would expect to see for somebody that, would be identified as a communal narcissist. That up front, the mask is, I give of myself. I make huge sacrifices in the name of the greater good. I'm here to be your champion. But then the reality behind the scenes, the person that you are when you get home, you take your shoes off, doesn't match with that good and kind and decent human being. And that's what basically identifies a communal narcissist. All right. And then you can compare that to Johnny Depp's actions, where he has a shell company that is set up, where he makes massive charitable contributions on monthly, like it's a rotating monthly payment that goes out. The LA Children's Hospitals are huge recipients of his money. Gives a great deal of money to notable children's hospitals that treat cancer and orthopedic problems. That people, he doesn't make appearances. He doesn't try to get attention. It's just his way of trying to give back and help. And in fact, more notable, the thing that would define him, you could say, oh, well, he's still giving a lot of money. People know that, blah, blah, blah. That narcissistic supply. Well, then how do you explain the fact that he rides around in a vehicle where he keeps a Captain Jack outfit available? And often, if he's got time or whatever, they will stop at a hospital, one of the children's hospitals, make a call and say, Mr. Depp is here. Would you guys like a visit? And then he will dress up and he will go in unannounced. The hospital administration knows he's coming. Will come in and help these kids who are living in they're afraid, they're sick. The doctors are, they are angels from heaven. You'll never be an atheist again if you can see one of these doctors working at St. Jude's or Shriners or any of these children's hospitals where you're dealing with chronically or critically ill children. Those doctors and nurses are, they are the best of the best. They've earned their wings. They are one-way ticket to heaven. They got a nice cushy place, waiting on them. And then the parents of these kids, they're living in a war zone. There's no other way to describe it. Any of you guys that have had children that have been sick, you know what I mean when I say a war zone. And to have Captain Jack Sparrow come in and spend an afternoon being goofy and silly and distracting that grieving mother and making that, overworked, heartbroken doctor laugh, giving the children a distraction from the pain and the fear, the discomfort, that's priceless, absolutely priceless. And he does it whenever he can find that moment. And the phone call is made and the administrators say, yeah, come on, it's good. We got a JJ Watts here in Houston, same thing. He's constantly going into children's hospitals just for a little bit, just a distraction, just to give the parents a moment to see their child smile, or to give the parents time to go find a quiet place to cry, and give the kids time to get distracted. And, to us being healthy, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but as a nurse or a doctor, somebody that's been there, and you see how it affects the community in the hospital when these people come in and give a respite, bringing in a touch of the real world into these life and death situations. It's just invaluable, and nobody has to know. There's not, when JJ Watts would come around, there's no like newspaper article, there's no TV, the news is not called, paparazzi are not sitting outside the hospital waiting to say, oh, JJ Watt, such a great guy, he visited, the children's hospital day, blah blah. None of that happens because they're not doing it for them. They're not doing it. JJ doesn't do it for his glory. They're doing it out of sense of personal responsibility to their community. And they recognize they're in a position to provide distraction and respite. And they do it because it's the right thing to do without getting a narcissistic bump off of it. But not this chick. No. She went on a talk show, primetime talk show, to make the announcement that she has, I have donated every penny of my $7 million. And then we find out it was not true. It was all a lie. It was all a lie. That is a communal narcissist. All right. Whew, a lot of information here. Now then, this idea of using shame and humiliation to make people behave. This little man says that people that don't have the same opinions as he, people that think in a way that he finds repugnant, that he thinks is wrong. I don't know who the hell he thinks he is, but he's clearly impressed with himself. He openly states the best way, the research shows, and this is not true, but the research shows the best way to change people's opinions is to use shame and humiliation. You have to publicly shame and humiliate them. Remember when half of the nation began to be called deplorables? The level of attacks, if you disagree with a person, you're immediately given labels that are, disgusting. Maybe the people that are doing the name calling believe the same thing that this guy does, that public shame and humiliation is the way to make people behave and believe what you believe. Now, the underpinning of this particular disgusting way of thinking, in my opinion, is that one would experience a sense of shame if one were to violate their societal norms or the social norms that they're expected to, follow. If we go against our expected social norms, then supposedly that would leave you feeling humiliated and small, that you would feel shame and you would not be able to look another person in the eye, that if you went against cultural norms, that you would be so embarrassed that you would want to sink into the ground and disappear. And then if shame is so uncomfortable, if one, if you're a god, a self-ordained god, then it's your job to make people feel small, exposed, and humiliated. And then they won't voice their opinions that you disagree with. And that's how you, as a self-ordained god, that's how you can make everybody behave and basically believe what you believe, right? So this group of nuts, they posit that shame makes us direct our focus inward, that when done properly, that you can make the other person engage in self-reflection that will provide a negative light for the entire self, not just the one opinion stated, but the entire being. Yet that when you are engaging in this action of humiliation and shame, that you should target the entire person, because you want to make it hurt as bad as possible so that they will not voice things that you don't like anymore. Now, shame is different from guilt, and that guilt is the result of your actions in a very specific event, right? That there's a concrete action, and you are a part of it, and you accept responsibility for that concrete action, and you feel a sense of guilt. And so guilt causes you to focus your attention on others. Guilt carries with it a requirement of empathy. If you don't have the ability to experience empathy, then how can you ever feel guilt, right? Now, the same group of research, the same set of projects that looked at using shame and humiliation to control the population. Some of the findings were that women are more likely to feel humiliated than men. And so the researcher said, you can use shame and humiliation quite effectively against women. You may not want to try that approach if you're talking to men, that you don't like the men's comments and opinions. But if it's a woman who is providing a comment or an opinion, you should definitely use shame and humiliation, because women just seem to naturally experience shame easier. Shame, according to this group of nuts, shame is positively correlated with low self-esteem and depression. And so it's particularly helpful if you can sort of imagine that the woman has low self-esteem or is having some depression, and you can target those things that the woman may be, challenges that the woman may be dealing with, and choose that as your weapon for shame. For example, if the woman might be a little bit overweight, then if this overweight woman is giving an opinion on politics and you don't like what she's saying, you want her to be quiet and to not voice her opinion, then it's okay. It's appropriate to attack her based on her size. You could say things like, why should we believe a woman's ideas about politics when she can't even control the amount of food that she's putting in her own body? I don't know about you guys, but this is getting as close to evil as I can stomach. You know what I mean? This is some disgusting stuff. And yet, these are the exact words that came out of this man's mouth last night when I asked a question that was, you say that doctors and cops don't intentionally try to hurt people, but that there are some circumstances where something goes wrong or something unforeseen, and a doctor or a cop might inadvertently hurt a person. And I agree with that 100%. I agree. And then I followed up by saying, but you say that true crime creators are all unprincipled charlatans. So you've got this very rational view of doctors and cops not hurting people, but why do you automatically have this knee-jerk reaction that true crime creators are somehow bad actors who like or want or endeavor to harm another person. And boy, I was under attack. In another video that I had listened to, and I think he may have actually said it to Patricia on Web Sleuths, who I have the utmost respect for. I think it was with her. I'll have to pull it up and look. I saved all the videos, but what? Oh no, maybe. Oh yeah, I think it was Patricia. I think he did say this on Web Sleuths. He said that the best way, because Patricia said, well, what can we do? What can we do about these creators that are given true crime YouTube a bad name? And he said that, the research shows that the best way to do that is through shame and public humiliation. Now, the great philosopher Landwehr of the Free University of Berlin. I'm sure the little guy I'm talking about knows who this Helge Landwehr is. Certain conditions must come together for someone to feel shame. Notably, the person has to be aware of having transgressed a norm. Oh, a norm, huh? We're not talking about old Norm sitting over there with a chicken leg and a beer. No. We're talking about a norm, an expected rule of society, an expected rule for your behavior. If you happen to transgress the norm, you can only feel shame about the transgression if you recognize that it's a damn norm in the first place. You got to know that the rule is there so that if you break the rule, then you can feel ashamed of yourself. Now I'm going to ask you a very quick question. How many of you want to be the child of one of these jokers? Any of you? How many of you want to create a home environment for your children where the best way for you to guide them and teach them is through shame and humiliation? Any of you? Yeah, me neither. This kind of stuff gets under my skin, and let me tell you why. Raising a child in shame and humiliation, conducting a marriage with shame and humiliation, being a person in the workplace where you use shame and humiliation to control the behaviors of others. I get to pick up the pieces. Your so-called research base that's the most effective way to control people has two flaws. Number one, punishment only works if the agent of punishment is in the room. And number two, who says that it is your job to control anyone? I know who I am. I know what my level of skill is. I know if I'm effective or not in solving problems. I know how to comfort others. I know how to make decisions and choices where we limit the likelihood that anyone will be harmed, but that everyone will find some kind of positive benefit. I can rely on myself to be someone who can bring worthwhile influence into the lives of my family members, my friends, and even people that I work with. I'm fairly confident in who I am and the influence, the type of influence that I can have on others. Not to tell them what to believe, not to teach them how they should behave, but teach them to be aware of the things that they want, what their goals are, what their idea of happiness and health is, and then to facilitate choices that can get them to a place that they can achieve the things that they want to achieve. It is none of my business to decide if the things that someone wants or the things that someone believes in are okay or not. That is not my role. My role is to empower people. My role is to comfort people. My role is to teach people how to comfort themselves. And I learned a long time ago that people are far more likely to be happy and healthy and productive if they operate in an arena of reinforcement, where there's a goal and they know a trajectory to achieve the goal. And then when they get to the goal, they receive their expected benefit or reward. In my life, the life I live day to day, whether I'm at home alone or with my friends or family, or I'm at work, it's only about reinforcement. It's only about defining worthwhile goals and reinforcement. And the great thing about reinforcement is that it does not require there to be a God in the room wielding their opinion over you like you are some kind of dog. So, little man, the next time that you decide to use shame and humiliation to try to make someone believe what you believe, or simply to be quiet, go away, you're going to have to find someone that cares. Your need for shame and punishment to humiliate others and to try to control them, it's only going to work if they care about you. It's only going to work if they care about your opinion. And so far, the only thing that I've seen from you is that you are a mean, nasty little empty shell of a person who is trying to harm others so that you can feel worthwhile. That is my opinion. Now, you said very clearly that you are here on YouTube to be a champion. Uh-oh, why is this not sharing? Hold on. Are we going to do it? Hold on, I'm having trouble with my... Okay, maybe that fixed it. Let me see. Let me try it one more time. Switch here. No, my screen's frozen up. Yeah. Imagine that. Okay. So, I think I will leave it. It says my Microsoft Edge is not responding. So I am finished. I feel that this was one of those situations that is having a lot of influence on people, people that this person has deemed unworthy, and they are intentionally manipulating Okay, can y'all hear me? Put a 1 if you can hear me. I got disconnected. Can y'all hear me? Martin Smallwood. Hey, so the sound is... Can you hear me now? Oh, good. Martin, thank you for being here. And the reason I'm calling you out, you're a voice of reason. I have a great deal of respect for you, for nothing more than, you're just a decent person who lets other people be themselves and you don't have an agenda for others. I'm deeply disturbed by what I've heard from this particular channel and the intentional use of humiliation and shaming as tactics, as tools to control other people on YouTube who are voicing things that they simply disagree with. And it is absolutely dangerous. I mean, we're smack dab in the middle of 1984. This is absolute nutty craziness. And you got really good people that are not recognizing how dangerous this guy is. They bought into it, hook, line, and sinker, and it's like, tell us what to do. You're so learned and smart. Well, the only reason you know he's learned and smart is because he's telling you, but he's using personal attack, assault tactics, intentionally creating shame and humiliation. This is coming out of Berlin, for God's sake, as an acceptable form of manipulating the masses. Well, who else gave it? What else did we get from Berlin? The message of use shame and humiliation to control other people, but they also gave us Hitler. So you may want to consider what it is that you're following and what you're reading and what you're believing in before you start buying into it and building somebody up. Okay. And now, because this little man loves to proclaim, he actually said this, like in his own words, out and out, voiced it. Everybody needs a champion. I came to YouTube to be that champion. I'm going to be that champion and fight for the people. You want to know what a real champion is? Because so far, what I've seen from you is that you're just a common bully. Here's a real champion.
City, but their laughter froze when they heard the Gestapo pounding on Sendler's door. Sendler rushed to the window to dispose of incriminating evidence, only to see more police patrolling below. Knowing she was minutes from arrest, she tossed Janina her most dangerous possession, a glass jar containing the names of over 2,000 Jewish children she'd smuggled to safety. This arrest wasn't the first consequence Sendler had faced in her lifelong crusade against anti-Semitism. Born to Catholic parents in 1910, she grew up in a predominantly Jewish town where her father treated poor Jewish patients other doctors refused to help. Irena was furious at the constant discrimination against her Jewish friends. As a graduate student in social welfare at the University of Warsaw, Sendler publicly denounced the segregation of classrooms and defaced her non-Jewish identity card, earning her a suspension and a reputation for troublemaking. Buoyed by her socialist ideals and inspired by her fellow social workers, Sendler assisted vulnerable Jewish families across Warsaw, pushing back on the waves of anti-Semitism surging through Europe. But in September 1939, Nazi Germany invaded Poland, bringing laws that further eroded Jewish rights. In 1940, Hitler announced that hundreds of thousands of Jews in Warsaw were to be forced into just over 1 square mile of land. Bordered by high walls and subject to constant surveillance, families living in the Warsaw ghetto quickly became starving and sick. Appalled, Sendler and her colleagues secured passes to the ghetto on the pretense of checking for typhus outbreaks. At first, her group worked to smuggle in resources with the help of sympathetic Polish officials and the medical underground.
But they didn't use shame and humiliation. They didn't tell women they were fat or ugly just to make them believe what he believes. No. This is what a real hero looks like.
But as desperate parents began sending their children through sewers and over walls, it became clear that to help these people survive, Sendler needed to help them escape. Sendler and her associates developed a coordinated campaign of rescue missions. Children were bundled into dirty laundry, packed into boxes on cargo trains, and carried beneath the Gestapo's noses in coffins.
Oh, you mean they weren't shamed and humiliated? They weren't embarrassed and told what bad people they were because they didn't want to live according to the Nazi norms?
Toolboxes, and briefcases. Bigger children escaped through the courthouse and church, which straddled the ghetto's boundaries. Sendler helped ferry these children to safe houses before forging them new documents and sending them to orphanages, convents, and foster families across Poland. To retain their Jewish identities and keep track of every child, Sendler kept painstaking records on thin cigarette paper and stored them in glass jars. This work was punishable by death. But for Sendler, such consequences paled in comparison to the pain of convincing parents to part with their children, often.
Oh, but I don't think that they screamed and yelled at the parents and used shame and humiliation to make the parents give up the kids, right? I mean, that's just a wild guess for me. If your game plan for making YouTube a safer place is to shame other people, to create humiliation and embarrassment on a public platform, then I say that you're the first one that needs to go.
With no promise of a reunion. In 1942, the Nazis began transporting Jews from the ghetto into concentration camps. Sendler worked with new urgency, joining forces with a Nazi resistance group called Jagoda. Jagoda helped Sendler expand her operation by stashing money for her in post boxes across Warsaw. But this system would also be Sendler's downfall. When the Gestapo threatened a laundry owner whose business contained a Jagoda post box, she gave them Sendler's name. At 3 a.m. on October 20th, the Gestapo burst into Sendler's apartment, arresting her for aiding Jews throughout the country. The police had captured Sendler, but her records remained safe. Janina protected the children's names with her life, all without knowing whether her friend would ever return. Despite enduring months of physical and psychological torture, Sendler betrayed no information.
Oh, okay. So what they're telling us is that the Nazis used psychological torture. The Nazis used shame and humiliation. Oh, okay. Now things are getting really clear for me.
Defiant to the end, she was sentenced to execution on January 20th, 1944. But as she walked to her death, a German officer diverted her course. Jagoda had paid the Gestapo the modern equivalent of over $100,000 for Sendler's release. That night, as she listened to bullhorns proclaiming her death, Sendler's work began anew. Remaining in hiding, she continued to oversee Jagoda's rescue missions until Germany's defeat in 1945. After the war, Sendler reconnected with the children she'd helped escape, remaining in contact with many for the rest of her life. And while the new Polish government sought to suppress her story, the children she rescued ensured she was recognized for her work. Yet, despite all the lives she saved, Sendler remained hesitant to accept praise for her actions, remarking, "I continue to have qualms of conscience that I did so little." For more
Okay, that is what a champion looks like. Those are the actions of a normal and good person. So your little plan to pick out creators on YouTube that you don't like, that you have deemed as a bad actor, with your stupid little model. Your tool of influence will be shame and humiliation, like the best of abusive parents. You're not going to impress anybody coming out of my channel, because we recognize this is no champion. This is an abuser. I'm really sorry for this negative content today, but what I saw in the last couple of weeks coming out of this channel, the targeting of a very good person, and I'm not gonna talk about what makes me say that she's a good person, but in her real life, behind the camera and all that, as just a human being, she's a very good person. She's having incredibly positive influence over important people in her life, and she's doing it selflessly, just because she has love and she's trying to do the right thing. And to have this cretin of a human being come along and say the things about her that I heard, someone had to say the truth. Someone's got to say the truth. You don't use shame and public humiliation to force people to have the same opinion that you have. You could be the one that has the wrong opinion. The very fact that you're looking at shame and humiliation, which are tools of abuse, the very fact that you believe in this arrogant tone that you've got all the answers because you're willing to target people that you don't know anything about what they're facing in their real lives. You're willing to target them publicly and use a tactic that is used on prisoners of war. For what? To make YouTube a safer place? I don't think you're interested in YouTube being a safe place. I think you are incredibly interested in building your own little kingdom on YouTube. Dare I say it, a cult. All right, y'all. Today is the day for Delphi. Wait for it. Hi, Gonzo. How are you doing? I haven't seen you in a long time, and I'm sorry that you come in and I'm, ranting, but a friend of mine's hurt, Gonzo, will you have it on your channel? Is something truly happening with Delphi, Gonzo? Do we know what's going on, Lucy? I do too, Elizabeth Ross. Lainey, it's pretty disturbing. I'm not sure what's happening with it, but it's not healthy. I know that. It's on. No problem. Just left there. Yes. Where do we find it, Gonzo? Where should we go to watch what you're talking about? Should we go to your channel? God, that would be so great. Yeah, but we need to know where to see it, Lucy. Absolutely, Annette. It made it. I'm really, really nauseated by the attacks that this guy's making on others. Oh, just be ready. So it's going to happen. Is that what you're saying, Gonzo, for us to get ready? Is this preparation time? Well, if you say it, I'm going to believe it 100%. So exciting. Hey, Casbat, welcome. Jules, thank you for saying exactly what needed to be said. Hopefully he is watching and learning. If he really is a champion, admit your fault, cheer and celebrate at our level as equals, a human level. That is very well said, Miss Hatter. No, I know, Gonzo. I know. It can be hard though, right? With all the influences that are, on YouTube. I'm ready for a lot of info to come out on a lot of things, not just Delphi. Yeah, there's a lot. Take care of yourself, Gonzo. Thank you for coming in. Okay, so something's going down. I guess what's a good channel to go to? I guess Chasing Truth, right? She does a lot on Delphi. Well said. Always good to keep eyes open for logically fallacious arguments, ad hominem attacks, recognize them for what they are, verbal abuse. Thank you, Jen. That was very well said. Okay. Gray is on Delphi. Yeah, totally. So Gray Hughes' channel is probably, I would say, if there's going to be great breaking news on the whole Delphi thing, wouldn't you think Gray Hughes would probably be the first one to know? Just because he and Libby's family are friends. Yeah, that's what I think, Pink. I think you're right. Hold on a second. I was looking to see if maybe he was live. No, he's not live. Last thing he did was Delphi murders, exclusive satellite image from the day of the murders. His last community post was 4 hours ago. Here's the original video on the satellite image. So he's got the original video up on the community tab. All right. So he hasn't put anything up yet. So I guess we will just keep waiting, right? And see what goes down. That's exciting news. I hope it's oh, Kathy, it was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Yep. Hey, Callie. Good to see you. Hey, Dee. Delphi has had pretty big developments in the last 2 days. No lives yet. This is ground level stuff. Oh, Gonzo, you're killing me. Gonzo, you should come up on channel and tell us what's happening. We won't tell anyone, Gonzo. We'll keep it a secret. I need to watch his live from last night. Gray Hughes investigates True Crime Channel real-time Delphi updates. Lucy's World says, Gonzo, I really appreciate all that you do. Yeah, Gonzo's a busy guy. You never know where he's going to pop up. one state, then another state. Oh, maybe Cop Facts. Yeah. I know Gonzo's gone on there a couple of times. I really like to listen to Cop Facts. Wabash River. You don't want my ugly mug on there. Just stay sharp. You're way too humble, Gonzo. You could go live with your sexy motorcycle, right? Just put up a picture of your motorcycle. Everybody will look at that. Tiffany blue motorcycle. Yep, we're gonna stay sharp. We're gonna wait, Gonzo. Keep them fingers crossed. Let me ask you this question, Gonzo. Are we gonna be in shock? Like, is it news that our jaw's gonna hit the ground, or will it just be a sensation of finally, Elizabeth says, vroom. Yes, Cop Facts, Gonzo, and Kristen. Yeah. Thank you, Pink. Pink's putting up Gonzo's channel. What do you think, Gonzo? You think we're all are we going to be like just in shock, or will it be, he is handsome, Kathy. Absolutely. The photography is amazing. I love all the photography that he does. One of the best pictures that I like from Gonzo is he's standing in Salida, and he's standing beside an old truck. It's got the perspective on the camera, and it's sort of a old black and white kind of look. It's a beautiful photograph. Hey, critters. Not shocked, just relieved. Good to hear, Gonzo. Good deal. Very good. Pink just dropped Handsome Gonzo's channel link. There you go, Gonzo. Hey, Jules. Happy Saturday again. Hey, Carol. Welcome. Hey, John Courtney. The channel is the only one I feel like I want. Whoops. Hold on. Your channel is the only one I feel like I walk away feeling smarter and a better person for watching. John, you are very kind, and I appreciate that. But, you know, there's a lot of really great creators. There really is. Just got to be, you know, just got to be polite, dignified, right? I think that's the word. We just got to be dignified. I think what leads to all this animosity among creators, it's this competitive thing, right? This idea, perhaps, I don't think this way, but I think others, that they look at the number of available subscribers as a finite group. And so the more creators you have, that would be fewer subscribers for each creator. And that is simply not accurate. You know as well as I do that you don't just watch one creator each day. There are some days that I may look at 6, 7, 8 different creators. There may be another day where I watch one creator, but I watch 5 or 6 of their videos. So it's not a finite group. This is not, 7th grade math. This is calculus at its finest. Is Rabbit here? I didn't see Rabbit. Rabbit, you have been hiding. Why are you hiding from us? Gonzo, thank you for your wisdom, dedication, and dignity, right, Teresa? Gonzo and Cop Facts, they're the personification of dignity. Yes, really dignified when they have these discussions and worthwhile. And I've never seen either of these great men try to humiliate or shame another person on YouTube. Never. Rabbit was here earlier. I didn't see him, but Pink, a lot of times when I've got like a goal for my video, like I have a reason, an intended message, I don't look at the chat because I get distracted. I try to try to stay focused on my internal outline. Oh, thank you, Kathy. Sammy Smith. Hi, Jules and Pink Lady Luck. Hi, Sammy Smith. How are you today? All right. Okay, it is Saturday, 3:25. I'm going to go ahead and take a break and move around. I have been sitting and running my mouth for a long time, and I appreciate all of you guys being here. Y'all are awesome. Big Ups Travel. Did you see Checkit's new video in Xanime's dog? I have not seen it, Big Ups, but I'll look. Thank you. I'm doing very well, Sammy Smith. Thank you for asking. Yeah, we are. I'm telling you, Sammy, it is a beautiful day where I live. It really one of the prettiest days. It's hot it's hot, like it is June or July hot, but sun shining, the sky is just as clean blue, it's really, really pretty. Oh, and all the birds are feeding. Bill, what is that out there? What kind of fish are those? They're jumping all over the place. Look. What are they doing? Are they spawning? But look at them.
Where?
Right out there in front of Patrick's. See them? They're jumping around, and the birds are.
It might be a school with fucking trout.
You think it's speckled trout? That is cool.
Sand trout, maybe.
The ocean looks like it's boiling, doesn't it? That's cool looking.
You can see that fall down in the water today.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day. That's so cool. I'm sorry I got distracted, y'all. I looked up talking about how pretty it is. And when I looked up, there's just dozens of fish jumping up out of the water, and the water looks like it's boiling. And it's a huge area, probably 75 yards square. And the birds are all dive bombing, and there's obviously something out there that they're eating. And I have said before, when I see them jump like that, when there's a bunch of them that are jumping up out of the water, makes me wonder if there's a shark down there that's feeding. But it does look cool when the water starts boiling. I put out a music video this morning that was one of the most beautiful sunrises that I've seen since I've lived here. It's long. It's a long video. I think it's something like 22, 23 minutes, something like that. And I went from I started recording early in the morning where it was really dark and the color was really intense on the horizon, and then recorded all the way until the sun was up and was casting this really like brilliant, beautiful pink, just a pink line across the water top. And so it took about around 25 minutes or so, and I added music to it. And the music, I think I've got maybe six songs. I tried to do a song from every genre. I even had Ozzy Osbourne, but then Ozzy has got it fixed so that if you play his music, they block the video. So I had to remove Ozzy, and I put in, what did I put in? Maybe, I don't know. I put in another song. So there's country, there's rock, metal. I think I put a Metallica song in there. Hard rock, there's country, there's Disney theater, and folk music. You should go listen to it. If anything, you can just play the music. It's nice. So, Ocean live stream. It was big ups. Yeah, at early morning, like started at like 5:30 in the morning or something. I'm surprised you not have a bird watching live stream. Oh, that'd be a good idea, big ups. But a lot of people don't like my birds, big ups. They don't like the sound. They think they're loud and screechy. And they do get excited sometimes. Hey, Lady of Angels, welcome. You know who I haven't seen in a long time? I haven't seen Flor Marina. Is she okay? I always worry when like Lady of Angels, Flor Marina, we all kind of got to be friends all at the same time. Oh, Black Sabbath would have been a good one, Lady of Angels. I used Pink Floyd, and shoot. Did I do? Oh, I don't know. You'll have to go listen to it. Like I said, if for nothing else. Oh, I used Bobby Bear, Marie Laveau. Down in Louisiana, where the black tree grows, lives a voodoo lady named Marie Laveau. It's a good song. Use Marie Laveau, and she had a bent, bony body. Oh, I used House of the Rising Sun. We did that one. Mountain Girl left YouTube. Aw. Hey, Yvette. She said she was harassed. Yeah, there's some terrible people on YouTube with the whole trolling and I use Sunshine on My Shoulders, John Denver. Yep. Yep. So I tried to do a song from every genre, um, which wasn't easy because all the songs had to be about the sunrise. Oh, and I have Glenn Campbell. So I got a Glenn Campbell song on there. You should go listen to it. It's fun. Oh, I'm sorry, Sue. Don't cry. Be happy. Um, so yeah, maybe I need to I have another video that I recorded where the pelicans were feeding, and they're violent. I don't know if you've ever sat. Thank you, Lady of Angels. I don't know if you've ever sat and watched pelicans when they're on a school of fish, but it's like watching dinosaurs. They're vicious and it's scary and it's crazy the power that they have. And so one day we got really lucky because they were feeding like right in front of the house. And so I sat out there and took like a 30-minute, video. And it was so cool because it was like a ballet. I mean, you'd have 4 of them that would swing down all together and they hit the water exactly at the same time. Like it was completely orchestrated, right? Yes, Lucy. Yeah, absolutely. That's right. So I need to finish that video and put it up too. I've been adding music to that one. And I use some dark kind of, Metallica type music because it is so violent and, anyway, I need to finish it and put it up. Really, really cool video, how they coordinate their movements together. It's just cool. It was a favorite of my husband who passed away a few weeks ago. Sue, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I know it's so hard. It's terrible. I have sent kindness and prayers for years. Why won't you respond to me? Hey, Scottie Nona, how are you doing? All right, people. It is 3:34. Hey, Mississippi. Breaking news. Tony Klein arrested in Delphi. There we go. There we are. Yay. All right. Thank you, Gonzo. I'm sure he's already gone, but he gave us a heads up. Yay. Let's see if Gray's going to go live. That is so great. Let me see what I can find, y'all. Y'all just speak among yourselves while I look. Hold on. Down in Louisiana where the black trees grow, lives a voodoo lady named Marie Laveau. Man, you better stay with her for the rest of your life. And it be nothing man done gone. I don't see anything. Indiana? Let me look at Tony Klein, Indiana. New detail. No, that's March. March. August 25th. I am not seeing a arrest. Not, I mean, I'm not saying that it's not happening. It's probably just so new. Let's try Twitter. Oh, he's so creepy, isn't he? Ugh, terrible. Tony Klein. Let's see. No results. Let me just try just Delphi by itself. Delphi. I see wow, he is nasty. Ugh. I see one comment, but it's kind of like us. It's just, oh wow, with everything going on last 2 weeks, there might be an arrest very soon in the Delphi double murder. I mean, this could be somebody that Gonzo talked to, you know. I don't see any like credible. I don't see anything credible. No, I don't see anything yet, y'all. Well, we'll keep looking, right? All right. I don't yet see anything, so did anybody find anything? Big ups. We're talking about Tony Klein, you know, associated with some child harm type of nasty. No Google results yet. Yeah, I'm not seeing Wabash. Look for Wabash. Okay. Let's see. Helicopter update. Sunny Justice. 22 searchers in the water today. That was last week. Huge update. Helicopter, ISD helicopter circles over search area multiple times. Um, nope, that's all on that. Okay, so we're still not go to Sunny Justice. Let's see what's happening with Sunny Justice. She's throwing some shade. Profiler Alexa breaks down the cryptic note and profiles the BG subs only as always. I don't know what that's referring to. Profiler Alexa breaks down the cryptic note and profiles the bridge guy. The Delphi murders. New charges filed. That was 24 hours ago. Are they saying Anthony Greeno? Surely not. I think she must have meant that for something else. Let's see. There's cop facts. Let me see what loose lip sync ships. That's something that cop facts says. Let me see if he's got anything on his channel. I would think probably not. I think Gonzo would have told us. Okay, so it looks like yesterday, cop facts says loose lip sync ships. Okay, well, this got weird. Hold on. I'll share this so you'll see why I say it got weird. Share. Hang on. Okay. Let's listen to this together.
To the murder sheet, who may be in this room. Think about the word deplorable. Someone you regard with contempt, disdain, disgusting. Those are words that come to mind, definitions that come to mind. You've broken someone's trust for your own gain. You know, there's plenty of others who know way more than you do, but they're silent. That's called character. I want to thank Kristen from Behind the Crime Door, Steve from True Crime Web, two people I caught last night who condemned what you've done, and many others probably that I didn't catch. You should be ashamed. You've jeopardized this case. You've messed up the timeline for law enforcement.
Okay, question. Can anyone tell me what is going on? I didn't check my post close enough. I meant not Ryan. Wanted people to not think it was him. What? Oh, y'all are... This whole Delphi thing is crazy, but that's what I said. It's not Ryan. Why are you talking about Ryan? I like this guy. Oh, yeah, absolutely, Salmar. No, Cop Facts is a longtime favorite of mine. Blame game. But does anybody know what happened? Does anybody know what he's referred to? Tony Klein arrest. Yeah, no, Gonzo was in here a few minutes ago and said that they're looking at an arrest today. But I want to know what Cop Facts is talking about right here in this video. Do y'all know? I'm thinking y'all do not know. I don't either, Moonlight. I don't have a clue what happened. This is crazy. That's too bad.
You've put people in danger. You've put KK in danger. You've put law enforcement in danger. You've probably tainted a potential jury. character. Yours has been damaged,
Wonder what happened.
and it's deserved. I hope you got all the views you wanted.
Wow, that's too
You know,
bad.
there's a way that you can tell when it's really cold outside. You don't need a weatherman, but you can tell it's really cold outside when you see an attorney walking down the street with their hands in their own pockets.
Anderson.
Oh, I'm going to tell y'all this. Would you want to have Cop Facts mad at you? I would not. He's pretty. I just left Perry's place a few days ago. He's really great, Gonzo. So what happened? I don't know if you can tell us. I mean, I get that there's a lot you can't talk about, but what happened? Greeno arrested by marshals for stalking and inserting himself in the case. Is that right? So that's what Cop Facts is talking about? Wow. Glad we got that straight. Okay, thank you, Miss Hatter. Yeah, thank you. Wow, that's terrible. He does that though, right? But there, but that's like those people that like that group that went to Summer Wells' house and went to the work site and they were screaming and yelling, or went to Florida with the whole Gabby Petito disappearance. You just, when you insert yourself like that, you are creating a scenario where you may have some really good evidence. The cops may have some really good evidence, but when you start exposing it on YouTube, you've now made it nearly impossible for a DA to get it admitted into court. For it, all those interviews that were done related to Summer Wells, it's made it virtually impossible that they would ever get a conviction, even if they made an arrest. So he's talking about the murder sheet, but new things broke today. Go check it out. But I'm looking, Gonzo. I've just looked everywhere. I'm not seeing any news. I looked on Twitter under Delphi, Kevin Klein, Tony Klein, General Google, and DuckDuckGo. Oh, okay. Gray Hughes is live. Okay, hold on. All right, Gray Hughes. Let's see. He's live. He says it says, is there a break in the Delphi case? Maybe we can find out. So he doesn't even know at this point. And Gonzo is having fun dangling that carrot. It's okay, Gonzo. 6 p.m. news conference, Kokomo channel. Yay. All right. Yes. Excellent. Gray Hughes said rumors. I believe Gonzo. No. I have full faith in Gonzo. And then we've got Mississippi saying that they've got a news conference on Kokomo channel 13 at 6:00. WTHR News stays close to the case. Morgan Le Fay, same here, not saying anything legitimate. WTHR 13. Me too, Gray. WTHR 13. Tonight. for tracking all the news. Gonzo, thank you for coming and helping and giving us a little heads up. I appreciate you so much. Well, Delphi update. Well, yeah, Pink, that's not appropriate to tell people to go to Gray's channel. So Gray doesn't have any information. I'm watching him right now. He doesn't know either. He's right now looking at YouTube. I mean, not YouTube, Twitter. He's looking at Twitter feed. He doesn't know anything. He has no idea. So I'm a little curious who might have contacted him and said, "Oh, there's information that, they may be making an arrest." I wonder, who might have contacted him and told him that. But anyway, Gonzo, thank you for giving us a heads up. Let me look at, I'm just going to share my Twitter. Share. I've got it on the WTHR 13. And so far, let's see, latest. And it's really talking about the weather. Lots about the weather, really. I mean, it looks like maybe they're trying to have some bad news. Not bad news, some bad weather. Let me look. Let's see. Let's look at Indiana. Indiana arrest. Says 3 hours ago, Indiana State Police arrest 3 Pennsylvania men on multiple charges. Indiana cops used DNA from cigarette butts to arrest a Corvette burglary suspect. I think the Pennsylvania arrest is let's see. Edward Titus arrests Jamar Parker. Possession of firearm, serious felon, obstruction of justice, marijuana, narcotics. Nothing about the girls. No, that's unrelated information. Okay, so we put that one to rest. We don't care about a stolen Corvette right now. Most people know there are 2 types of arrest in Indiana. They can arrest Clarence and Jenny Thomas if they dare to bring something into Indiana. Interracial marriage should be left as what? Arrested and booked if a woman walks down the street top. What? No, I'm seeing 0. I don't see anything. I'll now do let me refresh one time. Man. Thank you, Martian. Thank you. It would be so amazing, critters. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, everybody's, that's been the one that you just can't. Well, I say that, but Suzanne Morphew too. Yeah, that's not giving us anything. So let's go to Delphi. Okay, now we've got Tiara saying, according to Facebook and Reddit, Tony Klein has been arrested for the Delphi murders. Arrest made. Could today be the day? The Delphi murders. That's from Joyce Smith. Is there a break in the Delphi case? Man. Check this live out. This is Tish Golage.
Jumpin' Jack Flesh. This has to be it. A 5-week river search didn't happen over a C-SPAN.
All right. Just send it to Randy's messenger. Randy, check your messenger, bud.
Yeah.
There it is.
Everybody's
So
saying.
We are all praying and crossing our fingers.
Everybody.
Today is the day.
Okay, everybody's saying.
Oh,
Somebody's echoing.
that was Randy.
That was mine.
Okay.
Come on, Randy. What do you know? Because Randy lives there.
What are you hearing, Randy?
You two talk. I have to use the ladies' room.
All right.
About the same thing. I'm getting people saying TK was arrested. There's like 30 ISP cars was heading towards Delphi.
All right.
And
yes.
What else here? Hold on. Let me look on my chat
Our phone has not stopped since early this morning.
Yeah, I get TK got arrested.
There would be a presser with Doug Carter.
Lillian, of course, Lillian says, what's going on?
That's so great, y'all.
In Delphi, around Tony's house. Let's see what else I have. People showing me that, hey, between Kokomo and the post.
I agree, Pink.
They now have enough evidence to make a arrest now, soon.
But
you talked to Becky today?
No, I have not.
I sent her a message. I'm waiting on her to get back with me.
So this is a good source for us to listen to.
So far, that's all I got. So far, everybody's sending me everything.
So I'm just going to leave it here.
Somebody found a gun and the knife. They said they found the gun and the knife.
Well, the gun was found back in 2019. We know that much. But we've also been told that there was a cell phone that was found in the creek also.
Wow.
Busted in half, but
I bet it's got the video.
Yeah. So that's what I get so far. Hopefully this is it. And
Molly, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, let me see if I can get a hold.
This is so exciting, y'all. I'm so literally my heart's pounding. This is so exciting. I'm so excited. So this is a really good one to watch because the guy that's got the U.S. Army, he knows Becky. He's got a phone call into her.
App to go off, let me know they're having a presser.
So great. Oh my goodness. It's so wonderful. Gonzo, thank you.
I just won't stop.
Okay, hold on. Everyone is asking me about the news today. is true. That captain just emailed me. There are tons of LA in Delphi right now.
Tons of law enforcement in Delphi.
I don't know yet.
Edible octopus. I have a source inside one of the.
I guess.
I have a source inside one of the major news stations here in Indiana.
And what are they saying?
So,
what are they saying?
Captain's asking me. I told him, I guess there is.
Jesus, boy, this is driving me nuts now.
But we knew it was coming, right? With all the search of the Wabash.
No, but this year, people who said they saw almost 30 cars heading to Delphi.
I agree, Sundown.
Heading to Delphi, so I don't know.
And there's supposed to be a news conference at 6, so that's about an hour.
There were.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah, SD. That might be the link that they were trying to find, was that they pretty much, I'm sure they pretty much knew that a burner phone was being used.
It's always
just
been a
tracking it down
discussion.
was the problem. That's in my opinion.
So if they found the phone, it might have video on it or pictures.
All right, Danger Dave, thanks for the update on the Notre Dame game.
Notre Dame.
So yeah, without me being there, I couldn't say if it was or not. I try to look our local news. Nothing on there yet for local news.
I'm not finding anything either. I've looked at everything.
They would have been right there right away.
Creating a banner.
Let me see.
Right now.
Okay, listen, since we know that we've got a press conference that's coming up, I'm going to go ahead and end this live.
Becky's on her,
and then I'm going to come right back on another stream, and I'll put like possible Delphi arrest or whatever. But let me go ahead and end this one, and then I'll come back and do a second one. So I'll be right back.
She's on there on mine, the little green dot. Yeah.
We didn't have any media, but we do have